Hi, I'm Neil Fu, the host of NCT Tech Talk. We are back with this episode that we are very proud to have Datin Dr Vijayalakshmi Samuel. Is a principal consultant and the director of AGV Environment Sdn Bhd. Datin, welcome.
Morning.
Morning. Datin, I would like to ask that you have 2 decades of experience in environment, health and safety, which means that EHS.
Yes.
So can you share with us about your background and also the function of AGV Environment Sdn Bhd?
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Fu, again, and it's a privilege to be here at NCT and part of your Tech Talk. Now, AGV Environment is part of the AGV Group. So AGV Group has AGV Environment, which is basically we do environmental permitting. We also advise clients on how to improve their environmental performance, with also together health and safety consulting. Then we have AGV Sustainability. AGV Sustainability is a boutique firm looking purely on sustainability initiatives. We help corporate clients to develop their sustainability roadmap as well as develop their net zero climate change action plans. And then we have AGV Energy, which is a renewable energy company. So we're looking at developing a project in Australia for green hydrogen.
Alright,
so that's a little bit on AGV. A bit about myself. My background is in the sciences. I graduated from the University of Malaya with a bachelor's degree in science, followed with a master's. And finally, my PhD is in sustainability. And sustainability remains a passion for me. And that is why I'm here to help companies to improve their ESG performance.
Right. So we are very proud. Always we have all the high-skilled people like Datin, also PhD in environment.
Yes.
As very high intelligent, but yet is always can execute in our day in and day out of about all this environment. Always we hear about sustainability. Can you about this buzzword about sustainability? How does it mean to us? Always you think that it could be in a big corporate, but how does it affect our daily life?
Okay, now sustainability, yes, you are right, it is a buzzword, and ESG now, it is also another buzzword. It's gaining a lot of traction with industry players, government, as well as property developers, and a whole various groups of sectors. Now, if you ask from an individual point of view, each of us can play our part in reducing our carbon footprint. We can do our part in terms of, say, for example, saving water, the little you can do in where you live. If you are a business operator, you can think of how your business can reduce its own environmental footprint. So when we talk about, let's maybe talk about property development, since NCT is into property development. As property developers, you can include ESG elements in various ways.
Right.
The technology now has advanced. You have Internet of Things, IoT, you have big data. You can use all this to actually improve your ESG performance. Now, if you asked how do we do it, it's like, for example, now when we talk about carbon footprint, it is basically greenhouse gas emissions. And one of the biggest contributors is the property sector,
right,
in terms of energy. And 70% of global energy is from buildings. So we have smart energy systems. You can use temperature control, ventilation control. So these sort of things on a day-to-day basis, actually help to reduce our carbon footprint.
Okay, this is how technology can help us.
Yes.
Not only things that always we talk about sustainability, we think about forestry management, or maybe you talk about green, we think about grass.
Yes.
But in fact, technology can really help
That's
us
right.
to manage our energy, say electrical, our water, not so much in the wastage, and maybe we can recycle.
Yes.
Or retreat the water. This is what technology can do.
Yes.
And about NCT Smart Industrial Park, such a beautiful industrial park with 730 acres land, with the name of Smart. How would the AGV contribute to this, as lately for the past few months that you have been having meetings with the management? So how do you think that you can contribute to such a trendy smart industrial park?
it's indeed very interesting to see NCT embark on this eco-industrial park, and this park in Selangor is supposed to be the first eco-industrial park, as I understand, in Malaysia. It is also the first managed park in the state of Selangor. So how AGV is assisting is, because you are an eco-industrial park, what we have done is we have looked at the United Nations Industrial Development Organization. They have a framework for eco-industrial park, and we are using the elements of that framework, building those features into the eco-industrial park. For example, you have this park is going to be unique in a sense that you are going to have a park manager. So we are going to work with the park manager to see how they can monitor the energy consumption, how they can look at waste management, how they look at water savings. So we will work with the park manager on that aspect. We will then work together with the main contractor for the construction phase to see how at a construction level you can reduce your environmental footprint. For example, reduce construction waste generation, which is one of the largest waste.
That is very important.
Yes, that's very important. And then making sure that the contractor abides by all the rules and regulations. And even in terms of, foreign labor, making sure social justice is there, fair labor practices, the workers are treated well. So that is also part of ESG and sustainability. Sustainability is not just environment, there's also the social part and the governance part.
So the E, the S and the G. E is environment, S is a social, about people, and G is a governance. All right,
So very transparently managing the industrial park. So that's where we are coming in, and then also to help in the design of the park to see where you can put in smart features, for example, street lighting, which are powered by solar, and then also solar panels for your roofs.
There is a very interesting kind of architecture inside, the canal.
Yes.
So how do you think this canal, the first canal design in this 3 kilometer square of industrial park, how does this canal come into the picture, and how would it be in terms of sustainability management?
Okay, the canal, yes, indeed, it's a very unique feature, and I've personally not seen it in all my 20 years of working with various industrial development projects. Now we have this concept of heat island, where you actually have heat pockets formed in even in streets, on streets, in developed areas where you have a lot of high-rise buildings. You have these heat pockets. This water that you would have, this water body would actually create a cooling effect and reduce the heat pocket within the industrial estate. So that's one very good aspect of this water body. The second is this water body is also for flood detention and making sure that you don't have flooding issues during heavy rainfall event. There may be an option also to use that water, Mr. Fu, to see how you can use it for landscape purposes,
for
watering all your landscape trees and so on. Because one of the property developers we are working with actually uses water from the detention pond for landscaping. So that's your rainwater, you see your stormwater storage.
Multifunction, right?
Yes, multifunction.
And also, I was told that this canal, he can be like from point to point, but one big round could be 42 kilometers. It could be good for marathon.
Yes.
So it's part of the green concern of the ESG management.
That's right. It also provides this sort of activities that you would have. Let's say this marathon that you're talking about. You can have programs with your community. So that's also your CSR aspect, your community contribution. While people come in, you can educate them on the purpose of this big canal that you have across within the industrial park, and it also has the social element to it.
Right, fantastic. It's not the big words, but in fact can be done.
Yes.
One more question, Datin. Inside the industrial park, there is CLQ. Right? These are labor quarters.
Yes.
So how does this come into the qualification of ESG?
Okay, now as I mentioned, the S is the social component. So one of the S actually is looking at workers. When we talk about social justice, we talk about fair labor practices. So one, you will be having a big workforce. So making sure that this workforce is treated treated well in a sense that placing them in a centralized labor quarters, they have access to clean water, potable water, sanitary facilities, making sure that they also have some recreational, the top part of the building is actually going to be some tennis courts and some badminton courts. Recreation. So it is enhancing the well-being of workers. A lot of the times workers are not given due the right form of treatment, in a sense that, cramping them in poor accommodating accommodation. Yes.
That's why I say that, workers is the asset of the company.
Exactly.
So make them comfortable, fairness, and also not to be feel awkward in international supervision. And always I say that workers is an asset that we have to treat them well, just like treat us well.
Yes.
So I think with this ESG, with the 𝐂𝐸𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬, I think it means a lot to the industrial park.
That's right.
And also to the NCT group that we go to another level of human concern.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's a very fruitful and also very resourceful after hearing to Datin about this sustainability, about the ESG. So I hope that with Tech Talk that we would hear more about all these green things.
Yes.
Then perhaps Datin, maybe the wishes of the green, of the sustainability of Malaysia International, what would you advise us?
Okay, I would think that, as a nation, Malaysia is committed to reduce their carbon emissions by 2050, moving towards net zero. And developers like NCT, as well as, businesses out there, we all need to do our part. If we all don't do our part, the government cannot achieve its targets. And globally, we also cannot move towards carbon neutrality.
Right. So not only citizen, but being the corporate citizen like us,
that's right.
like AGV and NCT, that we are doing our part here. Of course, we are NCT Tech Talk, we are talking about technology, but enabler with technology, for our commitment for the good of the earth. All right, so I think thank you very much, Datin.
Yes.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And we would look forward to more collaboration and cooperation and make it happen. Make Malaysia more green.
Yes.
Make this earth more lovely.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.